the Tampa Bay Buccaneers celebrating in very unique style due to the pandemic their championship that was secured of the Lombardi Trophy by Tom Brady from one boat to another. I've got no skin in that game. It freaked me out. And I could only imagine the rescue operation, Charean, that would have followed if that trophy had ended up at the bottom of the Hillsborough River. I assume they bring in the frogmen from the police department immediately, much like the rescue operation when Flick's tongue was stuck to the flagpole, although then it was the fire department. I don't think the fire department have frogmen apparatus. You'd have to get the police department to go find the trophy, and Tom Brady would gladly pay the bill. But that makes me nervous every time I see it.
And I think they trusted Tom Brady. I guess they trusted Tom Brady. I'm sure they didn't know what he was going to do with that Lombardi Trophy. But yeah, Mike, that was pretty dangerous right there. That thing could have gone in. Maybe it was just a replica. Maybe it wasn't the real thing, right? Who knows? But it did. All those videos, man, it makes me want to move back to Tampa. Seeing those guys in shorts, I'm ready to go right now. It's freezing outside.
No, we've already established you can't go back because that's the moment that the magic ends. You bring that with you. It happened when you were covering the Buccaneers, and then you took it to Dallas with you, and they love you, but they're fine with you staying in Dallas. So, look, everything about it was fun to see. And, yeah, Tom Brady celebrated the way that most normal human beings celebrate a major achievement. It was odd to see him behave like a normal human being, because this is the guy that we have come to regard as robotic. To see him stumbling and one of his friends, handlers, whoever that is, keeping it from being an obvious drunken episode, it kind of reminded me of Weekend at Bernie's, the way that they were doing the walk there. But somebody spiked the avocado ice cream. I mean, what can I say? Tom's living it up.
It was Ryan Griffin, Mike, that carried him out. So they finally found a use for the third-string quarterback. I guess he did play the part of Patrick Mahomes last week, right? So I guess he has two uses. Play the part of Patrick Mahomes and carry Tom Brady out after the celebration.
Maybe Griffin would have been the guy they told to go get the Lombardi Trophy from the floor of the Hillsborough River if it had missed the boat. But look, you got to let them have their fun. And then Bruce Arians taking shots at the Chiefs when addressing the team afterward, and Jason Light saying we're going to bleeping win this thing again. That confidence that infects every professional athlete and coach quickly becomes hubris right after you've won a championship, because you've just done it. So can we do it again? Well, hell yeah, we just did it. Why can't we do it again? And now that's going to be the talk of the offseason. Can the Buccaneers do it again? Will they lure enough new players to town to help them get better? Will they keep enough of their own free agents? Arians said today they're going to keep Chris Godwin and Levante David. That may be hard to do if the cap goes down. But, hey, they're living it up. They're loving the moment. They've earned it. They're entitled to it. But there's a reason there hasn't been a repeat champion since 2003, 2004.
Yeah, and I do think, Mike, that free agents watching that today are saying, hey, why not Tampa Bay? Why don't I go there for a one-year deal and try to win one with Tom? If you're near the end of the career, why wouldn't you want to go to Tampa? I mean, all the reasons we've mentioned, no state income tax, it's nice weather in Florida, you get to play with Tom Brady, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I mean, all the things you want. So I'm sure there's free agents out there right now watching this going, yeah, it looks like a pretty good place to go to me.
Adrian Peterson, who has been bouncing around the NFL in recent years. He was with the Vikings all those years, then the Saints, then the Cardinals, then Washington, last year Detroit. He's already said he wants to join Tom Brady in Tampa. They're going to be turning guys away. There's going to be veteran players who very much would like to get on board the Buccaneers boat and win a Super Bowl, and they're going to have to say to some of these guys, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, and that is a great problem to have, where there's only 53 roster spots. But what you get out of this, if you have these great players who want to cap their careers with a championship, they willingly take on backup roles. This is a way to fill out. You know, the Patriots always had, through the salary cap that they saved on contracts like Tom Brady's, a very robust middle class of veteran players who would serve as depth. For example, if your left tackle and your right tackle are injured like they were for the Chiefs, the drop-off from first string to second string isn't as great as it was for the Chiefs. The Patriots were able to do that. The Buccaneers may be able to pull that off this year, Charean, if you get these veteran players who are willing to take less to be part of the magic that they've captured in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and they did it with Leonard Fournette. They got him in the middle of the year, and Ronald Jones was their starting running back, ended up getting hurt, played very little in the postseason, and Leonard Fournette was their running back who carried them in the postseason. So you do need that depth, no question about it. And that's what you get when you're a guy like Tom Brady and players flock to you. Bucs right now, as you said yesterday, Mike, have 31 players under contract. They've got a lot of work to do this offseason to get that roster filled out. They do have a little bit of cap room. We know it's going to go down. But guys are probably going to take less to go to Tampa to play with Tom Brady.
Today's celebration created some memorable moments. Top of your head, what is the first thing that stands out when you think about historic parades from past years?
You know, what came to mind very quickly was that Jason Kelce speech from a few years ago. And it was profanity laced, and he worried about what management thought of it, but it fit Philadelphia perfectly. We wrote like 3 or 4 or 5 stories just on Jason Kelce's speech and the impact it left in Philadelphia. That to me was the most meaningful speech I think I've ever heard at one of these parades. Normally it's stuff like we saw today, but Jason Kelce's was really good.
Yeah, in the Mummers outfit, which he looked like he was the guy who was deciding whether or not people got past the gates of Oz. And it was quite a costume that has yet to be duplicated and was unprecedented when he did it. There are little things that flash for me. Anytime someone tries to sing, you try to both remember and forget that. I remember Art Modell dancing at the Super Bowl 35 celebration, and that was a sight to see. But it's always alcohol-fueled. It's always a little over the top. It's always aspirational. They're always ready to come back for more. No champion ever says, that's it for us. See you later. It was fun. We're going back to 7-9 next year. But look, the reality is the chances are much greater that the Buccaneers won't be back in the Super Bowl than that they will. But with Tom Brady, that changes everything because he's been in so many of them and has now won 7 of them.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.